everybody, and welcome to the Tora Jordan Show. I'm your host, Tora Jordan. If you are new here, hey, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, hey, welcome back. Glad to see you. This week, we are celebrating victories. Not mine, but y'all's. Okay? We are celebrating victories. And I've got a 2-for-1 special today. 2 for 1. Yeah! We like that. So, anyway, starting off, April. Woman I know named April. She messaged me. She goes, I'm not doing keto, but I enjoy your videos. And I wanted to share. I have lost 13 pounds. And she dropped her A1C. And some of y'all might be going, what's an A1C? Well, it's a level that they use to diagnose whether you're a diabetic. It's not just your glucose, but it's like the long-term level of your glucose that they find in your blood. And she went from an A1C level of 6.2, which is pre-diabetic. She wasn't a full-fledged diabetic, but she was a pre-diabetic, to a 5.5. Way to go. Way to go. You reversed it. Yes. Yes. You reversed it. Way to go. I am so proud of you. That's an added bonus. Way to go. Awesome job, April. Awesome job. I'm not sure what you're doing, but girl, it's working for you. It's working. Keep it up. Keep it up. You're doing great. And you're giving hope to those who are out here, you know, on either YouTube or Facebook or whatever, who, you know, they may not know you, but guess what? You're giving them hope that, well, if she did it, I can do it. I can do it. I can reverse it. Way to go. And thank you. Thank you for sharing. Awesome. Awesome job. I'm so proud of you. I'm very proud of you. I know your family ought to be proud of you. I'm sure they are. If they're not, I'm proud of you, girl. I'll be your family. I'm proud of you. Way to go. Way to go. So proud of you. April's our first one. Our second one, probably nobody knows her. She's actually in one of the Facebook groups that I'm in on keto and low carb. And she said, I kind of stumbled upon you in the group because I've seen you post. And then I was on Facebook or on YouTube, and the algorithm just kicked you up. And I was like, she looks familiar. So she played a video and she goes, girl, share my story. Okay, so her first name's Amanda. That's all I'm going to tell you. Her first name's Amanda. She's in her mid-30s. Okay, she is a registered nurse. Okay, registered nurse. She's in the healthcare field. Okay. She said, tell him my height. Tell him it all. Okay, because it's her story. She said back in 2019, I'm going to give the condensed version because, I mean, she wrote a book. Back in 2019, she had an emergency medical scare while at work. She was doing swing shifts, a lot of 12 and 16-hour shifts, and a lot of it was like overnights. And this was kind of before the time where DoorDash was a thing, or, you know, available is what she said. She goes, DoorDash wasn't really a thing in my area at the time. So keep that in mind. So pretty much, if you're working a night shift, you're kind of living out of a vending machine or you're bringing your own lunch. So there's that. And she said that she had been drinking a lot of high sugar, highly caffeinated drinks, energy drinks, full throttle sodas, things like that, and candy bars just to make it through the night on her shifts. And I'm like, okay, I get it. You know, I was in nursing back in the day. I get it. But she had a medical emergency while at work, and it totally changed her life. She has polycystic ovarian syndrome, like I do. And hers was completely out of control. She said she was experiencing excruciating periods, and she was constantly on a heavy period, and she didn't know it at the time, but she was extremely anemic. She hadn't been diagnosed as anemic, but she ended up passing out at work on shift. And of course, they immediately called an ambulance and got her to a hospital and everything like this, and, you know, really scared her. When she got to the hospital, they checked her blood pressure, and it was 212 over 110. Like I said, her PCOS was out of control. She had critically low iron count from the blood loss. And of course, they started giving her iron supplements, and you know, they ended up doing some blood transfusions to get her numbers up, to get her out of critical stage. I mean, she wrote me a whole book on this, and I'm just sitting there going, girl. She said when they did my full blood workup, they of course did a A1C, and it was a 14.1. She did not realize what she weighed. She said, I always knew I was a big girl. But when they weighed her when she was at the hospital, she was 432 pounds. 432 pounds at 5'2". She said, I'm trying not to tear up on this, Amanda. She said that she had to specially order her scrubs, and sometimes she had to have them special made for her size. But, you know, she wasn't taking care of herself. And she said, I didn't realize how sick I was until that moment. And she's a registered nurse. She was putting everybody else ahead of her. Okay? Keep that in mind. She's a registered nurse. Okay? She said, you know, she talked to a dietitian while she was in the hospital, and they of course were telling her, you know, you're a full-fledged diabetic. You know, we're going to start you on metformin. We're going to start you on long-acting insulin. We're going to start you on short-acting insulin. We've got to get your blood glucose down. Oh, I forgot to mention, her blood glucose when she got to the hospital was over 600. Which can put you in a diabetic coma real quick, fast, and in a hurry. So immediately they started taking actions to bring down her blood glucose, bring up her iron, balance out as much stuff as they could. They were talking to her about, you know, you need to do a full-fledged diabetic diet. You know, you're gonna have to start on shots. You're gonna have to start on all this X, Y, and Z. And she was looking at her life and wondered. She told me this. She goes, I looked at my life at that moment and wondered if I wouldn't have been at work, would I have died? She said, if I wasn't at work when that medical emergency happened, would she have died? When I read this, I was like, oh my gosh. I was, you know, I kind of, you know, choked up on this one. She said, I did my research when the nutritionist put her on her full-fledged diabetic diet. You know, of course, they told her stay under 200 grams of carbs. Okay, well, she started losing a little bit of weight. And of course, you know, the diabetic medication that they put her on that was helping her lose weight and things like that. And she realized that she did not want to be taking medication and shots every day for the rest of her life. She realized that. So she said, I started doing research on YouTube, on Facebook, not just social medias, but also hardcore reading books, reading dietitian, different dietitians, different things, and not just American stuff, but also, all over, trying to find out what she could do to take control of it. And I'm like, girl, that's a victory in itself. Okay. As of her doctor's appointment yesterday. Oh, let me back up. She said, I went to a consultation in April for skin removal surgery. And keep in mind, she's 5'2". Okay. And at that consultation, doctor's appointment, she was at 176. Okay. 176 in April. She said, I went, of course they did that, and, made sure I was an appropriate candidate and everything for skin removal surgery. She said, I went to the doctor yesterday and I am no longer a candidate for skin removal surgery. And here's why. She had gotten married in 2021. She said, my husband and I had dated for years, and he was with me all through my medical emergency and everything like this, but he was loving me through it. No matter what, he was loving me through it. She said, I got disqualified as a skin removal patient candidate yesterday because she found out she's pregnant. Amanda, congratulations. Congratulations. I'm moved, and I'm so proud of you. She said her A1C level is now down to a 5.2. She no longer takes shots. She no longer takes medications, except a prenatal vitamin now. Amanda, congratulations. Not only on the pregnancy, but for saving your life. For making the choice to save your life. And yes, guys, I am tearing up right now because that's remarkable. Number one, to lose that much weight. And number two, to completely reverse full-fledged diabetes. And number three, to be sharing in the joy of having a baby. I know you are going into stork mode, and congratulations to you and your husband. I know that you guys are over the moon. I can imagine that you guys are over the moon. Being a PCOS person, having PCOS as well. I understand, especially when you get told you're probably never going to have children. And I don't know what your doctors have told you, but, it's a very real possibility. So, congratulations on saving your life, the massive amount of weight loss that you've gone through, your A1C just completely reversing your diabetes, and now your baby. Congratulations. These are victories that are possible. Reversing from pre-diabetic into normal. That's amazing, April. That's a huge thing in your life. And Amanda, Wow. What a testimony. What a testimony. Guys, this is why I wanted to celebrate victories. Because they're real. They're real. And it may not seem like a big thing, but when you completely change your life, that's huge. That's huge. April and Amanda, you guys are giving hope to others. And I appreciate it so much. All right, I know. Okay. Get it together, Tora. You're not alone if you're sitting there getting horrible news in a doctor's office. You're not alone. You're not alone on the good days. You're not alone on those bad days either. I care for you guys. I want you guys to realize that these victory stories that I'm sharing this week are not mine. They're not mine. They're yours. They're yours. They're yours. They're your sisters. They're your brothers. They're your bestest friend. They're your moms. They're your dads. They're your aunties. They're your uncles. They're yours. They're yours. And that's why I want to get them out there. Because there may be somebody who is watching this on YouTube who feels like they have absolutely no hope. But you do. You do. And it doesn't necessarily have to be keto or low carb or carnivore or paleo or whatever. But just making the choices to make yourself healthier. That is a victory. That's a victory. Be kind to others, but be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace. Give yourself a lot of grace. We are our own worst critics, guys. Be kind. Be kind. And you're beautiful or handsome, regardless of what stage you are in. Regardless. Regardless. Alrighty, guys, and one last thing. Love ya!